Can you be fat and fit?
Now, Deborah, speaking of mindset, you also say that some obese people are weak-minded. Explain that to us.
I think weak-minded, unhealthy-minded. And I think the way we see this is if, for instance, someone is in a pattern of, binge eating or eating high-fat foods or sugary foods, and they're not exercising and they're gaining weight and they're feeling miserable and they feel like failures because they have entered the yo-yo dieting cycle from hell. And their mind is weak and could be used to get stronger, to get a healthy body. So for instance, my program recalibrates these toxic patterns at the root. What it will do is shift their thinking from feeling fat and lazy to becoming fit and energetic, so that their natural behaviors and choices, like exercising and eating well, come naturally. They have an actual identity shift. And that is why my program is not another yo-yo diet.
Ragen,
Yes.
you did have a chance to look at Deborah's program, what she's advocating. What are your feelings about that?
This program is just recycling tropes that have been around in diets since the 1930s. This is nothing new or original. It's just repackaged. And it's not likely to have any better results than anything we've seen before. And she has no research to back that. And I'll point out that it's convenient if you're selling this, that you would actually, you know what, I let you talk and I'd like my chance to speak now. And of course you can rebut afterwards. So for example, her program looks at quote unquote limiting beliefs, one of which is I always gain back the weight. And in fact, the research shows us that the vast majority of people are going to regain the weight. And so it would be like saying, well, thinking that you can't fly is just a limiting belief. So pay me for my program and I'll teach you to jump off your garage and flap your arms really hard. Right? You're going to hit the ground because that's what the research says is going to happen. The aggressive confusion of fat with fit here. I mean, there are people of the same weight with vastly different fitnesses and people of the same fitness levels at vastly different weights. And so this is really just depending on some cheap stereotyping. There are sedentary thin people, there are fat ultra marathoners, and we're in a situation where you sort of have to ignore all of that reality to believe that there's such a thing as a fit mind and that you can get that and that will change your body to be thin. It's simply not the case at all. And there's no evidence to suggest that this is going to work any better than any other intentional weight loss.
Deborah, it sounds like from what you've said so far that you're not really a fan of this body positivity movement.
Body positivity, telling a woman who is falling in the morbidly obese category, who has a waist size of greater than 37 inches, has been shown to decrease life expectancy by 80%. I cannot get behind that. I won't get behind that. And it's science.
Ragen, what are your thoughts on what Deborah's saying about body positivity possibly being toxic?
So this is a common soundbite for people who leverage body shame for money and attention. So it's not surprising, and again, not original or new. And beyond that, one thing I just want to circle back to is she said, I don't care as long as I can help one person. We have to care. We have to care how many people we're harming in the attempt to help one, especially when the evidence is clear that the best chance we have for physical and psychological health is to leave intentional weight loss, to leave diet culture, to leave body shame, to learn to appreciate the bodies that we have.
I'll throw that back to Ragen for 1 second and think about all the people that she's harming. All the women that come across her Instagram that say, all right, I can stay at 250 pounds. My doctor told me I need to lose weight because I have hypertension, I'm pre-diabetic, and I have sleep apnea. But screw that. I am a positive, amazing woman who deserves to stay and pass me the chips and pass me the cake. That is harm. That is harm.
All right.
Very rigorous debate.
And they both have great points.
A big part of the body positivity movement isn't saying that I don't think that being overweight or obese is not unhealthy. It's saying that I still get to love me at this weight, and then I can move forward the next day, right? That's a big part of that.
In that context, Dr. Ish, you don't have to feel any shame.
Lazy, fat. They're hurtful, but more importantly, they're shameful. And that shame makes you hide it in the closet. That shame is isolating. And that shame is right down the street from anxiety and depression. And that's the shame that they walk into my office and we try to unpack every day of the week.